Hi everyone, it's Sean from Lontra Analytics, and today we're going to go through our highly requested secret playbook, how to pause ads to increase your profits. So this is the entire playbook is right here. Are organic sales high enough? Yes or no? Evaluate pausability. Not a word. I'm making it a word. Yes or no, and then define the test. It's important you define the test, and then pause like a pro. So I'm going to go through a whole bunch of stuff, but before we get into it, we made a template so you can follow along and do this yourself, even if you're not a Lontra Analytics customer. Shameless promotion. Lontra Analytics makes this crazy easy, and it takes like 45 minutes if you're doing it with all the reports, or in Lontra Analytics, it takes like a few seconds. So this is what our first test looked like, where we ended up having the idea to do this. So we've got like day over day information, then a before and after comparison test. We've got a bunch of different things. And then if you click over here, this is going to be what one of the tables looks like later, where we're checking organic sales percentage as well as a few other metrics to see if we think we actually can use use the pause like a pro process. So with all that said, lots of great stuff ahead, but I just wanted to show you what was in store. And so what you do is you open this, it'll open a new tab, and you just need to put your email in and hit subscribe, and it'll take you over here. And then when you come in here, you'll get an email that looks like this. You click this open, and then you'll have to remember to make a copy, or you won't be able to do anything with this. So you just go File, make a copy, and you're off to the races. Cool. So with all that business out of the way, why are we doing this? How did we get here? Basically, we had a problem on our hands. One of our clients kind of over-ordered inventory back in 2021 when it seemed like the e-commerce gravy train was just never going to end. So we ordered the inventory and kept trickling it into Amazon, and then sent one big shipment into Amazon. And suddenly we ended up in a really tough overstock position. We started getting charged a ton of money. Even during Q4, we were just overstocked in general, and Amazon was not a fan of us. We managed to keep our IPI score just above water, but with that said, it was something that was a huge problem. Then we were just like, we got to do something about this. So we started playing with single keyword campaigns, and we developed a process called keyword shopping. At the time of me recording this, that article is not out, but it is written, so it will be out soon. And then we also have the LAMP scoreboard process, which is another video that's on our YouTube channel. It's also another piece of content on our blog. It's very helpful. Highly recommend you go check it out. It helped us a lot, and so I hope it helps you too. Anyways, so we went and implemented the LAMP scoreboard and then ran a bunch of single keyword campaigns because we realized that was where we needed the most work. And next thing you know, our organic ranks took off. It was crazy. And within 3 months, we went from being way overstocked to at risk of going out of stock. Like OOS risk is like the shorthand we use for that. And you might be saying, yeah, okay, great, Sean, what a high quality product. Stop bragging. Okay, but what I'm trying to convey here is like things got really crazy. Then we realized we were gonna run out of stock, which was just not at all what we expected. And so we had a conversation internally and we were like, what are we gonna do? So we just decided to pause all ads on that product. It's our best seller, and we completely paused ads. And our ranking stayed. We were having crazy conversations saying like, hey, what is going on in here? This is like a Slack conversation we had January 30th, 2023, talking about all the stuff that was going on and how our ranking efforts worked a little too well. But anyways, you guys want proof? Scroll down, here's the proof. So you guys just saw this dashboard. It's a real dashboard inside of Lontra Analytics. And this is what happened on the bestseller for one of our clients. We had $6,500 in gross profit after pausing ads in a 60-day period. So our tacos went from 14.6 to 6.88. Our ACOS actually went down only slightly. But the big thing is we went from 53 grand in ads to 15 grand in ads. And organic sales only dropped by like 20K. I forgot to mess with that. I'll have to fix that later. But the big thing that you'll notice is the total ordered product sales went down. But look at that. Our organic sales only went down by 20K. seems like we might be onto something here. Okay, and then we did the exact same thing again on a second account, but this time it's February 22nd, so 23 days after the first test. We kind of had the exact same thing happen, but this product wasn't about to go out of stock. We just knew that we didn't have enough runway to cover the same velocity in a 60-day period. So we started looking at it and we said, well, we have one variation that is absolutely crushing it, and we have a second variation that is not doing as well, but we have way more stock of it. We're at risk of being overstocked here. So we turned off all the ads on our bestseller, except for maybe like a few here and there, like some sponsor brand ad spend or something like that. And then we turned up the ad spend on our second bestseller, aka the child variation that wasn't doing as well. And the thing we wanted to call out is we didn't play with the price or do some other thing to juice these, basically we weren't trying to fake this. Like, this is something we did and then didn't realize we had done, or what we had stumbled on until after. So our price stayed the same in both tests. Our ordered product sales stayed the same and went up here. Our ad spend went up. Sales went up. Profit stayed. Actually, profit went down. But if you look at the total profit on the product, aka like the parent, it went up by like $9,000. We were losing our minds. And if you look at tacos is crazy. We went from 13.87, which was already healthy for this product, to like almost 6%. That is great. And so what I really wanted to convey to you here is this stuff works. And I'm going to give it all away to you for free. Just keep on watching. So this is where that video will be. Right now, it's just a video placeholder, but we'll fix that soon. And this is another opportunity for you, your final opportunity, to put your email in and get a copy of this template to follow along. One last thing, and one last disclaimer. This is something that's going to be evolving. You know, we are still learning here, and we're always testing at Lontra. So it's important to remember that this may change over time. If it does, I'll make a new video. So even if you don't want the template, you're like, I don't want to, I don't care. The thing is, if you want to be up to date on whenever we change this process or we find some new discovery, put your email in and we'll send you an email anytime that this process in particular is going to be updated. We are tagging our newsletter to make sure we know what people are interested in so we keep them on relevant things. Okay, so overview. This is the entire process. Get data, determine if we're above 75%. This basically means evaluate pausability, and then define the test and pause like a pro. All right, so that's it. Again, reminder to get the template, and let's get into it. So you are here. What does that mean? You need to go gather a bunch of data. So you'll need a helium-10 Cerebro report for the ASIN you're looking at, last 30 days search term report, business report for the last 30 days, sponsored ads, ASIN, advertised ASIN report, bulk operations report, sponsored display advertised ASIN report, the search query performance report for the ASIN in question, brand analytics for the ASIN in question, and then you'll need to go in and paste everything into the correct place. And then you need to remember to paste everything in the right tabs, and also make sure that there's no formulas that look like they're broken, because if you paste in things that are not in the right columns, they will break. So please double check that. Because we've got client information in here, I am not going to be able to share any of that with you, but I want to just remember to convey to you guys, paste all the data in, double check that it's working, because if it's not, it's going to break everything. So just make sure you do that. Okay, so we're in here, and once you've pasted all the data in, the last step you want to do is hide all of these additional things, because we want to make it so that it's just really, really clear. There are only 3 tabs that matter. There's the simple steps, there is the organic sales, and then is it pausable or not pausable. Now, we actually did this for one of the accounts that is already paused, but we want to show you what it looks like and what we might be thinking about, because there are a lot of different options, and there are a lot of different things to consider when doing this process. So the next step in this process is paste it all in, put it all in the right spot, and then now you need to evaluate if you're above 75% organic sales or not. So here we go. Go to organic sales. And so this is the ASIN that we're actually working on in this case, and we're at 95%. However, that's because we already paused almost everything. So really what you're looking for here is you're looking for any terms, you're looking to see what's our organic percentage. And then another thing you can look at is if you are not sure, if you are, because there's a bunch of columns in here, if you're not sure if you are at the threshold you need to be. So for example, say you're at 90, or say you're at 74% of organic sales percentage, you can look at organic unit percentage, organic units percentage, and it'll be organic units divided by units ordered. So imagine this number was like 70% or something like that. But then you downloaded, or you added the number of units from PPC and the number of organic units, and then divided them. Then you could be able to find out, oh wait, you know what? While my organic sales percentage is low because I ran a bunch of promotions, the next thing I need to check is their organic units higher? Is it above 75%? We found that less than 75%, it's not going to stick, or it's going to stick, but for a lot less profit. So that is what we would recommend you do. And so once you've done that, it's time to move on to step 2. So what is step 2? Step 2, and I've had to hide a bunch of the columns to protect our client's data, is to come in here and look at your the possibilities. So these are all labeled columns: search volume, keyword clicks, total keyword sales, keyword conversion rate, and these are all search query performance metrics. Then our search query performance clicks, our ASIN units, or units sold from search query performance, our conversion rate from search query performance, then PPC, and then our Helium 10 organic ranking. Now, here's the thing that's quite interesting, is we actually don't have very much data in here, even though there are a lot of really interesting keywords. And part of that comes down to filtering and adding in data over time, and maybe pasting together multiple sheets. I put this together to illustrate a point, but I want you to realize that if the data is not working, which I already went and checked, it is working, then there might be something else wrong with the way that you pasted these things in. So the first thing I want to call out is we are at a 0% conversion rate. It's saying we've only had 10 clicks on this term and no sales. So we're at a 0% conversion rate. And also our PPC clicks, PPC orders, and PPC conversion rate are all at 0. But we're ranked organically 10th for this term. And we know, well, I know, that this is actually quite a good term. So it's important to realize that just because you aren't necessarily spending money on a term doesn't mean you can't rank on this term. And I know that we do make sales on this term, but based on what we're seeing from these reports and these date ranges, we're not necessarily getting a ton of information, and that's okay. Now, if, for example, this PPC conversion rate was higher, which we're going to get to in a second, then that would probably be the thing that we should be looking for to see how well we're doing compared to our competition. So I'm going to come back to the article right here. We've already checked, and we've seen that we're above 75% of our sales are coming from organic. So then next up, pausability. We're making it a word. Really what we're looking for here is first we're trying to see if we're in the top 10 for a keyword. Then once we've done that, what we're trying to look for is how are we converting compared to our competition. So I'm going to show you what the ideal situation is and then a couple other potential situations you'll come across. So the keywords benchmark conversion rate right here is 9.35%. So that's benchmark. And then what we're looking for here is our search query performance conversion rate. So what if our search query performance conversion rate is like 8%? I would immediately disqualify this term. But if it's 9%, 10%, 11%, I would definitely keep it. But then what I'm looking for is, okay, so this is the check number one. Are we in the top 10? Great. Then what's benchmark? Okay, it's this. Great. Are we beating benchmark here? If yes, cool. We can move on to the final step. Is our PPC conversion rate beating both our existing search query performance benchmark and the keyword benchmark? If that's the case, then we are probably doing quite well at top of search. And what that means is we are very, very, very likely to stick if we get ourselves into the top 10, because we know that when we get up to the top of search, we convert at a percentage higher than benchmark. So with all that said, if this was 9, this was 11, and this was 15, even 13, even 12, then I would say, okay, we can consider pausing this keyword. And that's really the thing we're looking for here. Are we ranked? Then what's benchmark? Are we beating benchmark? Are we destroying benchmark? That's the process. And that's how we're trying to go through this entire process, is to just look and see how many of those we have. So once you have figured out how many you have, just make note of them or highlight the rows or something else, because we're going to move on to the next step, which is the second last step. And that step is, once you've got a list of keywords, it's time to create a pausing plan. So you are here. This is obviously very exciting. And if you have had a failure so if you've had to say no to either of these, then you can go look at the UNF Your Account or the keyword shopping processes that we have already written and posted so that you can get to this point. So now that we've gotten here and we're creating a pause plan, the question is, what are we going to do? So we need to actually define this plan. And the way we recommend this is you should at least consider first your risk tolerance before you do this. And you should also consider how many keywords you have to pause. So if you've got like 3 to 5 keywords that you could pause, then choose whichever one is least strategically important to you and try testing on that one. Or test whichever one you think is the best, like has the highest conversion rate, because you know if you turn that campaign back on, you'll get right back up very quickly. So once you've been able to do this, what you want to do is set some terms for this plan. So if you're really risk adverse or you're just afraid of this process, only do it for 5 days. And I recommend starting on a Monday and finishing on a Friday, because then you will be able to keep it within the same week. You won't have to worry about something happening over the weekend if you're not working on the weekend, all that good stuff. If you are medium on risk, do it for 7 days. Do it from Monday to Monday. You can leave it over the weekend, and when you come back after the weekend, you can look at it and say, oh, how'd it do? And then if you're very okay with risk, do it for 10 to 14 days, because then you'll get lots of data, you'll get it over a good period of time, and you'll know what the fluctuations look like more. So generally speaking, that is the period you need to do it for. Then you need to determine your breaking points. Because we're going to turn off our ads, we should at least set some terms for what we're willing to do. So term number 1 generally we recommend is if your organic position falls by more than 10 spots, turn the ads back on. Next one is if you lose more than 20% of your sales, like 20% of average from ordered product sales within 5 days, then turn it off. Turn the campaigns back on. Or if your product sees less than an increase of 5% profitability in the first 5 days, then turn the campaigns back on. Final one is this: if you're feeling uncomfortable with the results, if it doesn't look good to you, you can turn it back on. That's totally fine. So once you've done that, just write it down. Write it down somewhere so you know what your plan is, what your deal breakers are, and how long you're going to do it for, so that then you can just do it. And so that brings us to our final step. Pause like a pro. Oh, you know what? I left this part out. The final thing you need to recommend, or you need to do after you've done this, is you need to decide on something to do while you're waiting for this test. because the hardest thing is going to be convincing yourself not to turn the campaigns back on, not to mess with it, not to refresh Amazon 100 times a day. So what I'd recommend is coming up with some kind of plan for what you're going to do during the rest of that time. Spend some time with your family. Go on a walk. Take care of something big on your to-do list you've been meaning to do. And then that way you have something to do instead of just staring at Amazon the whole time, which is going to be what most people tend to do. Maybe just commit to looking at Amazon twice a day and that's it, and maybe even put it in your calendar. But have something else to do, because this is freeing. It's going to give you a lot of profitability, but we don't want it to cause you pain, suffering, or anxiety. So the final step is pausing like a pro. Ideally, do it on a Monday. Watch it twice a day, every day. Make sure you know your terms and enjoy the extra profits you almost definitely will get. But then, last step, once your test is complete, tell us how it goes. If it didn't go well, post it on social media and tell us, and maybe we'll be able to comment with some ideas or maybe some recommendations. If it did go well, consider it payback for us. Tell us how it went, tell us if it went well, and let us know, because we would be very happy to hear about that and make sure that something we created actually benefited other people. And so yeah, with that, happy pausing and hopefully even happier profits. If you want to learn more about what else to do, you can go to our blog and learn more about the different things we have to offer. It's just getlontra.com/blog. And then we obviously have a shameless offer, which is buy our software. We've got this fantastic software. It makes your life an absolute breeze. If you're a data-driven person who's selling on Amazon, you will absolutely love this. And as someone who is a data-driven person, we built this because I felt like I needed it. I really think you're going to love it. Can't wait to hear more about it. Shameless sub offer. We can do this for you. We have an agency. It's small but mighty. We try to be pretty selective with the clients we work with, but in general, we would love to work with people who are nice and who are data-driven and focused on achieving awesome stuff and being happy while they do it. So if you want to learn more about that, go to our homepage and we would be happy to share more with you. So with that said, I'm Sean from Lontra Analytics. I hope you have a great day, and hopefully I'll talk to you soon.